The penultimate round of the 2019 GP4 Offline Championship season takes place here at Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit, situated on Yas Island, the penultimate race of the season, where Franco Lopez has his first opportunity to take his first ever GP4 OC title. Drivers, and also actually I should add, the Constructors' Championships could also be decided today. Ferrari have won here the most actually after past seasons, winning over half the races since it came on the calendar back in 2009. Of course, 55 laps around the Abu Dhabi circuit, a circuit length of 5.554 kilometers. They like their fives. 21 corners, lap record set by Joseph Willows in 2018, a 140.248. But of course, Franco Lopez, after winning the last round in Kota, he now is in prime position to win the title here in Abu Dhabi, and I think part of me hopes it will go to the last race, but if he wins it here, it wouldn't be surprising. Previous four winners here include Jim McKenzie winning here twice for Rover 2017, and Joseph Williams winning here last season, 2018. Of course, he will need to win here if he wants any chance of bringing the title to Brazil and keeping it alive. The tyres, of course, will be the hard tyres. But of course, it is Joseph Willows and Miklos Gal, the two drivers who could stop Franco Lopez, but they're both on the same point, so one of the two is going to be out of it by the end of this race. So we're going to now take a look at the starting grid for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, penultimate race of the season, and it is Amar Kar, Franco Lopez's teammate, who is on pole position ahead of Franco Gamba, second for Red Bull Racing. On the second row we have Laura Chung for Ferrari in third, and Jay McKenzie, what a performance by him, fourth for Renault, although he may even be out of a seat at the end of the season. Franco Lopez, fifth for Mercedes, and Joseph Willows sixth for Ferrari. Lopez is in a decent position at this moment in time. George Rote taking a good qualifying there, probably I think it's best of the season, seventh. Miklos Gal, eighth for Red Bull, not a good qualifying by him. Ninth is Paulino Tomasetti for McLaren, and Gerard Fosbury, his best qualifying of the season, managed to get Haas into Q3 in 10th. On row 6 of the grid we have Kirosova de Rossa for McLaren and Evan Byrne for Renault. On row 7 of the grid we have Gabriel Gomez for Alfa Romeo and Roland Moitian for Racing Point, 13th and 14th positions. On row 8 of the grid we have Maxim Titkov, good qualifying performance by him, getting Mana into Q2 ahead of David Kupok alongside him in 16th. On the 9th row of the grid we have Andrea Federi, the very old rookie, and Matteo Catalan for Toro Rosso. On row 10 of the grid we have the two Williams of Lean Campana and Felix Sontag, or Sontag confirmed for next season, Lean Campana is not. And on the final row of the grid we have Chris Chatfield for Haas and Rosetta Martinez for Mana. So that is the grid, and team news for Abu Dhabi is that Franco Gamba will remain at Red Bull for next season. There was a doubt as to whether he would stay there or not. And Amelia Wilson, the Formula E champion, will be promoted from Formula E to drive for Mana. Well deserved for her, and she'll be the second female on the grid next season alongside Laura Chung. Now on your screen right now is the championship criteria for Franco Lopez to win the title. I won't read it all, it is on the screen plain and clear, but I mean mainly if Lopez just finishes ahead of both Willows and Gal, he's got the title in the bag really, you have to say. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for this race, so let's get this on the road. Can Franco Lopez win it here in Abu Dhabi? Of course it will be a dry race, no surprise for Abu Dhabi. I mean, when has it ever rained? It being of course in the desert on Yas Island. So a dry race, so let's get on with it. So Amar Kar on pole position, Franco Gamba alongside him in second position. Then Laura Chung and McKenzie behind, Lopez in fifth. Lopez just doesn't need to just stay out of trouble here, and if he wants to win the title, as the 5 lights are now coming on here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And we're underway, and who's going to get the jump in towards the first corner? It looks like Kar has made a decent start, but can Gamba get the launch and overtake on the inside? I don't think he can. I think he might even get overtaken by Laura Chung in second, but Kar gets the lead, and Chung I think is going to go around the outside and take second place away from Franco Gamba. Meanwhile, Lopez I think has got past McKenzie for fourth place, so he's made a good start as well. Laura Chung already right on the back of Kar. Gamba not making a good start, but Kar is holding on as they're coming into the end of the first sector, coming into the chicane before the hairpin on towards the back straight. Looking at the order, as a few moves up, Maxi Tikkov's made a great start. He's moved up to 12th place from 15th. He's trying to get some points on the board for Manos, and more points on the board, but Chung up into second. Kar at the moment leading as they head down the back straight, heading towards the hairpin. But Gamba now down to third, Lopez in fourth, McKenzie fifth, Willows, Gal. I think Gal's actually moved up, a position from the start as well. As meanwhile, Gal's actually defending from the McLaren of Tomaselli there on the inside. And is there going to be any contact? The answer is no. And so they managed to hold it there. And so, Gal's gone wide. And Gal's collided with De Rossa. And Gal has collided with De Rossa. And Gal is out of title contention. That is his title hopes over. They were very slim, but they are nothing now, and Miguel Gal trying to rejoin the circuit there in a battle with Tomaselli, then rejoins and takes out De Rosa. So that is his race done and dusted, no pun intended of course, and De Rosa is out as well. So we're looking on board with Tomaselli, who is trying to pass Gal, who obviously had made a decent start. Tomaselli tried to get a move in the hairpin here, and he was on the inside, and Gal obviously had to give him room. But unfortunately Gal, having been overtaken by Tomaselli, then went wide. Or no, he hadn't actually, he made a mistake, went wide, and Tomaselli went through, and as he rejoined, De Rosa was there, and unfortunately De Rosa collected him there. I don't think there was really much that De Rosa could have done to avoid that. We'll have a look at the replay, of course. There's George Roach just in front, and then there's Gal, who keeps him from Tomaselli, makes a mistake, and then, yeah, De Rosa probably just didn't expect that Gal would rejoin like that, so I don't really think you could classify that as De Rosa's fault. I think that's probably more Gal's fault. I'd say 70-30 for Gal. The incident between the two, no surprise, will be under investigation, so we'll see what comes from that. But more importantly, of course, it is now a two-way battle for the title now between Joseph Willows and Franco Lopez, with Gal now out, so he cannot win the title now. So this is the onboard from Titkov, who actually was being overtaken here, or was attempting to be overtaken, I think, by, was it the Alpha? It was the Alpha, actually, of Gabriel Gomez, who made a good move there on him, moved up into 12th, and then Titkov, unfortunately, having made a great start, hits the wheel, and then actually hits the bit of the wing as well, and so he has to pit, so his good start now all comes down to nothing. Meanwhile, Franco Lopez is on the back of his fellow Franco, heading down the back straight. Gamba, is he going to be closer to make a move? I think he's just about in the slipstream. Is he going to make a move to the inside? I think he's going to go for it. He's going to try and go for it on the inside. Gamba's not giving him much room, but I think Lopez is going to do it, and Gamba kind of backs off and lets him have it. So Franco Lopez crucially up into third position. Now, I'm pretty sure at this moment in time, if he finishes in third with Willows down the order, I think it would definitely be enough for Lopez to win the title. And so Mackenzie's still running in fifth. Meanwhile, David Kupok is on the back of Evan Byrne, trying to go around the outside, coming past the support pits here. And Kupok seems to have the run off the corner. And can he make the move? He's alongside Byrne. Will Byrne keep the position, or will Kupok get it? And I think Byrne is going to keep 10th, and he does for now. So let's see how long he can hold that on for. We're on board with Lopez heading towards the hotel. Of course, this circuit built around the hotel, and so they're going right under it, which of course is a unique feature of this circuit. So he goes under it. He's got past Gamba. He's already got a decent gap to him. Let's see if he's got the pace to get Laura Chung in front, and maybe even Carr, because Chung is actually still just behind Carr. Carr has not been able to stretch away from Laura Chung by any means. Lopez, fuel-wise, I think that's definitely going to be fuel for a two-stop, as Carr actually set the fastest lap. Nope, Chung now sets the fastest lap. 141.3. Of course, lap times, unlike in real life, are quite slow here. But as Lopez comes through the first corner, we're looking now at his teammate Amakar, who leads, but Laura Chung is right behind and looking to take the lead of this race. Meanwhile, David Kupok now going to try and go down the inside of Byrne for 10th position into turn 1, and Byrne's going to go wide over the curve, and this should be the move for Kupok, and he's through up into 10th, and actually so is Federi. He moves up into 11th. Byrne loses 2 places there, and now Federi's all over the back of Kupok. This is for 10th position. Is he going to make a move into the chicane? You don't really see any moves into the chicane because it's not really much of an overtaking spot. But Kupok's moved up 6 places. Federi, Santos moved up a number of places as well, 7 as well. So a lot of movements in the field so far. Carr, of course, one of the ones who hasn't moved. Willows at the moment not making much progress, still stuck in 6th behind Jay McKenzie in the Renault. Meanwhile, we're looking, of course, on board with Federi, who's going to try and make a move on Kupok into the next corner. And Kupok does defend, but a little bit too late, as Federi's on the inside. And he makes through stick for 10th place. He's now up into a points position. Now we go to Franco Lopez, who is in third. Doesn't seem to be particularly gaining on the cars in front of him. Willows makes a mistake. And that allows Tomaselli to go through up into 7th position. 6th, sorry. Willows drops down to 7th position from 6th. So Willows, who was behind Mackenzie, has not looked like overtaking him, and then makes a mistake. And I mean, this is just handing this on a plate to Franco Lopez here, it seems. And Willows is definitely struggling. He hasn't got actually a lot of fuel. He's got probably a little bit more maybe than Lopez does. Carr's got about the same as Lopez as we're looking through the rest of the order. Meanwhile, Jared Fosbury at the moment running in 9th. He's had a good start, but Federi is looking to put an end to that. He's going to try and make a move on the inside of the Haas driver. and he's going to go past Fosbury into the hairpin, and so makes the move for 9th position. Now we'll go after George Roque in front of him for 8th. Roque currently just on his own, really. Lopez in 3rd, about 2 seconds off of Chung. Doesn't really look like he's getting... Well, he's gained a little bit there, 2.3. But just under a 10th he gained there. Meanwhile, this is Matteo Catalan on behind Roland Moichin in the racing point. He's going to try and go around the outside of him, heading towards the end of the straight. And is he going to make the mistake? He's just about got his car stuck in front. Would he go around the outside? He might try this Catalan, but it's not going to really work. Again, you don't see many moves around the outside of there either. But car does seem to got a little bit of a gap to Chung in front. The gap about 1.5 seconds nearly. So he's now finally starting to stretch, although it's down to 1.3 actually. But Lopez, I think he is maybe gaining a little bit on Chung as well. So they're all evenly spaced out at this moment in time. But of course there's so much that could happen in this race. This is Abu Dhabi, and of course this is the OC we're talking about. So Lopez at the moment is in the best position to win the title, and it looks like he is, but anything could happen before the end. Meanwhile, Byrne, who's dropping like a stone at the moment, getting passed by Chatfield into turn 1. He goes wide yet again, way off the circuit this time. Loses a position to 14th, now 15th, and now 16th as well. Catalan goes by, and so Evan Byrne really having a terrible race, although as you can see why, he's got a lot of fuel in his car, so that is why he is struggling at this moment. So he's clearly going for the 1 stop, but it's badly affecting his pace, and he allows Chatfield, Catalan and Moichin to go through. So he's going to have a tough old race, really, is Evan Byrne. Meanwhile, we're looking at Federi now going past George Roque in the racing point. This is for 8th position, and he's going to go on the inside. It's a good move by the Italian, pretty easy. Roque's not really put up any defence, and Roque's got fair amount of fuel. Looks like he's probably going to go for the 2-stop. He's gone a little bit wide there, so that might allow Fosbury to catch up. And actually, yep, he's gone wide, so Fosbury's going to now overtake Roque there for 9th position. So Roque making a little mistake, having been overtaken by Federi, and he's now down to 10th position. Of course, Roque, who is one of the first drivers to be announced for next season. And I think you can say well deserved. His form has definitely been better in the second half than it has in the first. I was a bit surprised he got announced so early, but I think based on the form in the second half of the season, it's definitely deserved. Meanwhile, Kupok is now all over the back of Roque as well. This is Roland Moichin, who is running in 14th, and he makes a mistake there coming in towards the hotel, getting a little bit out of shape, and looks like he's going to go wide, and yes he does. Does he spin? Not quite. Lose a position, actually down to 15th, lose a position to Catalan and to Byrne, so those positions he gained were all for nothing. Meanwhile, Kupok is, I think, on the inside of Roque, heading down towards the hairpin. He's going to make the move, it looks like, for 10th position. And he is through on the inside, and Roque now down to 11th. So good move there by Kupok. Now Felix Sontag is on the back of Roque. Sontag having a good start to the race at the moment, but Roque doesn't seemingly have much pace in that car. Lopez still at the moment running on his own in 3rd. Doesn't look like he's really gaining on Chung. Well, again, he doesn't really need to do anything stupid. He just doesn't need to do anything rash at this moment in time, because yeah, he's having a very solid race at this moment in time and just doing what he needs to do. So he's looking right now, and oh, there's an engine blowout there as Gomez goes past Maxime Titkoff. The engine has blown up on the straight there, so that is Maxime Titkoff's race over on lap 9 before it has even really begun. So that is the 3rd retirement of this Grand Prix. So after, of course, De Rosa and Gal on the first lap. So Titkoff now pulls off, his race is over, so he will then get himself onto a yacht and have himself a nice martini. So he pulls off and he goes into the wall, and that's his race over. So he retires, and so he'll have to see in the next race, the final race, of course, in Brazil, if he will get another points finish. But as we look at Titkoff, who of course it looks like Titkoff may not, well, now that he's not going to get a mana seat, so there's not really many options for Titkoff, so he may be out of a seat for next season, which you could say is probably quite harsh, but the sign-up system is quite harsh, and you know, you can't please everybody. If we could have, you know, 2 F1 OCs with the amount of drivers who wish they could be in, you know, but that is, yeah, that's just life, really. But anyway, Andrea Federi has had a good start so far. It's set to come into the pit, so it looks like he might be doing a 3-stop. It's only lap 10. He's already pitting, so again, as I said, he might be doing a 3. So he's coming towards there, but he's running in 8th. He's a fair bit off Willows at the moment. Car to Chung is about 1.8 seconds. It's stayed about that amount of time. As meanwhile, Felix Sontag really trying to get on the inside of Roke here for 11th. It was very close. Roke was not letting him through easy, but I think Sontag has got through, and he has. So Roke now down to 12th. Just doesn't seem to have any pace really in the racing point. Just dropping down the order, and he might be under pressure from Chatfield in the other Haas pretty soon. As we look at Andrea Federi heading towards the hotel and about to pit, of course, for his first stop of the race. And Federi, who has done a decent job this season. Of course, he's got the nickname of the 36-year-old rookie. But he's deserved his shot, and he's done a good job this season. You could say he's probably done better than his teammate Gomez. But that's for people to decide. But anyway, Federi now finally coming towards the pit entrance will jolt to the right, which he does, and will come in for his first pit stop of the race, and we'll see how much fuel they put in, if it will be a 2 or a 3 stop. Meanwhile, Tomaselli is on the back of Mackenzie for 5th, who's done a good job so far, and Miglasgau has received a 5-place grid penalty for causing the incident with De Rossa. I think that's probably a fair penalty, really. So Gau will have to drop 5 places wherever he qualifies in the final race of the season at Brazil. So Federi comes in, fuel-wise, 21. I mean, that could be enough for a 2-star, but we'll see what they do decide to do. Well, he's pitting about maybe that 29, so yeah, you might pick later on. I think that's probably still going to be a 3, I reckon. But Sontag now up into the points with Federi in. So we look at the top 3, all evenly spaced out, not really winning to go towards each other. Try and push too hard, with the dirty air and everything. But as I said, Chung out the title race, and Chung, if she'd had a bit more luck, I mean, there are some races where she absolutely blitz the field, but others where she'll have just an absolutely terrible race. So you never really know what you're going to get from her. But there's 2 pit calls, one for Mackenzie and one for, I believe that was Sontag. Meanwhile, David Kupak actually is closing on Jared Fosbury. This is for the battle for P8 at the moment. So Fosbury, actually, I just realised he's actually doing a good job. He's actually on a 1-stop, it looks like, with the amount of fuel he's still got left. So Fosbury actually doing a very good job at this moment in time with that amount of fuel in his car. So it looks like he genuinely does have some pace. Meanwhile, we're looking at Evan Byrne, who at the moment is the complete opposite. He's got a bit more few laps more fuel than Fosbury, and he is struggling, to say the least. Meanwhile, Mackenzie is now in, so that's why I think Mackenzie's managed to keep in 5th place. He's done a good job so far, but would it be enough to get a seat for next season? We don't know. But Mackenzie is now into the pits, and let's see if he'll be doing a 2 or a 3. I think if it's probably before lap 15, the pit stops, then I think it might be a 3. Well, maybe a 13, 14. But anyway, he comes in, and yeah, there's not a lot of fuel in that one, so I think it is going to be a 3-stopper for Mackenzie. So he comes out of the pits. And now, meanwhile, Felix Sontag actually comes in, and Chatfield actually is, as I suspected before, is closing up on Roke. Meanwhile, Laura Chung is going to come into the pits this lap for Ferrari and see if she can do an undercut on our car. Car's going a lot longer than what Chung is, so it will be a long undercut, but we'll see if Chung will be doing the 3 or the 2. But as we look at Armor Car heading towards the I'll call it a chicane. It is technically a chicane. Chung in 2.2, so a car has extended the gap a little bit. It's been around about just under a second for most of this, well, ever since the start, really. And it's not really changed. And whoa, meanwhile, Franco Gamma getting a little bit over the curves there, a little bit wide, but managing to keep it on the road. But he's not got the pace to keep up with the top 3, it looks like. So at the moment he's running in a very lonely 4th. He's got Lopez that's way ahead of him, Tomaselli who's not really threatening him behind. But we're going to have a look at the replay of this little mistake he made there. Clips the curb a little bit there, unsettles the car a bit, goes over the other curb. But fortunately, unlike Pierre Gasly in real life, the wing doesn't completely disintegrate. So yeah, there we go. So Chung is now in, and I couldn't see what fuel, just went the screen went a little bit too quickly there, and yeah, I think that could be a 3-stop for Chung. I think it could. So she comes out of the pits, and at the moment she's down to 6th, and I don't know if she'll come out behind Jared Fosbury. It'd be important actually if she gets out ahead of Fosbury, because of course Fosbury is on the one stop and he's not going to be pitting for a while. He's actually just come across the lines. This could be close actually. If Fosbury comes out is in front or not. Chung is coming out of the pit exit, and we'll see the order to find out if that was the case. Well, at the moment, car leads. It's a Mercedes 1-2. We've never seen that one before, like ever. Gambler at the moment in third, Thomas Lee fourth. Willows again in fifth. Just doesn't have the pace this race, and Chung actually did crucially come out ahead of Fosbury, so that's important. Chatfield, I think, actually did get past Roke, it looks like, unseen by the cameras. Mackenzie's down at the moment in 11th place. So Tomaselli at the moment is running in P4, doing yet again a good job. Meanwhile, David Kupok is in the pits as well. So is Gabriel Gomez. Amakar making a big mistake there in the lead, and wow, so he makes a huge mistake coming towards the hotel section. So he's in the lead, isn't he? But that allows though Franco Lopez to catch up. I mean, maybe it was tactical, who knows? But Carr making a little error, and that allows Lopez to catch up quite significantly. As we come to the straight, so the gap now only 1.5 seconds between Lopez and Carr. As they're coming down the back straight, we're on lap 15, so about a quarter of the way through the race at this moment in time, and there's still a lot of the race to go. Well, there's still 3/4 of this race to go, and anything can happen. Meanwhile, Chris Chatfield has come into the pits for his first stop of the race. I mean, both Haas drivers actually have done a good job so far. Chatfield is looking, well, he's going to be on the 2-stop. Fosbury, it looks like, is going to be on the 1-stop. Mackenzie is in 10th now after his stop. Chatfield it will come up behind Andrea Federi in 14th place. Actually, she's quite far behind. Meanwhile, Franco Gamba now lapping the Alfa Romeo of Gabriel Gomez, who at the moment is running in plumb last and is having a pretty torrid time, really. But Amakar coming through the hotel, and you can see Lopez has gained again quite a bit, and we'll see if Lopez can keep that up or not. Fosbury again on his own, but doing a very good job. Chung is not too far ahead, but of course Chung is just pitted, so she'll get a big gap to Fosbury, which is of course much needed. Gamba at the moment in third, running on his own, no one near him in front and no one near him behind, excluding of course Gomez, who he's just lapped. Meanwhile, we're looking at Evan Bone at the moment, is running in 11th position and just is not having a particularly great race, got no pace to show at this moment in time. And and there's a collision there, and Martinez is out. Martinez has been hit, I think that was by Sontag, and Rosetta Martinez is out, so that is both manners out of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And so we need to have a look at the replay, what just happened there. But it looked to be from Felix Sontag, because there's the wheel bouncing all over the place in front. And Sontag, who had just pitted as well, and it looks like he's going to have to pit again. So Sontag was trying to make a move on the inside of Martinez, and just caught the end, just not really going to work that move. So Sontag probably should have maybe just waited until the next corner, but just caught the end of Martinez's car, and yep, there goes the wing. So unfortunately for Sontag, he will have to pit, having just pitted a couple of laps ago. So that's going to eliminate any real chance that Sontag did have of getting some points from this race, which is of course quite unfortunate, because he was having a pretty solid race. So the incident between those two will be under investigation. I mean, I think Sontag may get something, and actually he does get hit from behind, actually. Martinez by the other Haas. I don't know if Chatfield got damage or not. But as we look at David Kubok, who's right behind Lean Campana in the Williams, as Matteo Catalan is in the pits for his first stop of the race for Toro Rosso, and the other one, of course, Toro Rosso will be called AlphaTauri, or AlphaTauri, whatever you want to call it, for next season. So, as we're looking on board with Kupok, who's trying to get past Campana into the first corner, and Kupok's going to go for it, is he? And yes, he does. Overtakes Campana and moves up into 13th. Campana actually going to be pitting next lap. Byrne at the moment temporarily up into 10th. Franco Lopez again keeping the gap, it looks like, to Carr, staying about 1.4 seconds. Lopez is going to be pitting this lap. Well, not this lap, I think the next lap, I think. Kupok making a little error there, coming through the chicane, and that allows Campana to close back up, but we'll see if Campana's close enough to make a move on the front straight. No, Campana's not quite close enough, he's not quite in the slipstream, heading towards the hairpin. And so Tomaselli, meanwhile, actually Paulino Tomaselli is now in the pits for McLaren. He's had a pretty solid season. Well, I mean, let's face it. I mean, both McLaren themselves, both drivers, have had really good seasons. De Rosa's definitely been the unluckier of the two. He's definitely not had it all his own way. Yeah, and definitely probably could have finished ahead of Tomaselli in the standings, or at least been close to him. But of course, AlphaTauri for next season, there's still one spot to be taken, and there's a whole host of drivers within a shout for that seat. Of course, that is yet to be announced. The two Alpha seats are also yet to be announced, and there's one other seat which I should remember, but I can't. I think is it a Haas seat, maybe a Haas seat actually, that is set to be announced for next season. Still a number of seats up for grabs. No, actually, it's not the Haas seat. I lied. It's actually the Ferrari seats. That's the other seat up for grabs, not Haas. But as we look at Phoenix Sontic, who's now down in 18th position, now last, thanks to that collision with Martinez. So as we look at him coming towards the chicane, Lopez, meanwhile, as you know, he's not pitting. The graphics were kind of fooling me there. Chris Chatfield, meanwhile, in 15th position. He's right behind Lean Campana. And then we're looking to make a move as they head towards the chicane. Nothing going to be on here, so I'll have to wait until the back straight to make the move. As we look through, not many battles happening apart from this one that we're looking at right now. Chatfield coming through onto the straight now, looking to make a move past the American of Campana, who is increasingly looking likely that he won't have a seat for next season. As Chatfield now on the inside of the Williams, and he's going to make a move for 14th. This should be relatively simple, and it is. So Chatfield through past Campana up into another higher position. Meanwhile, Carter Lopez is about 2 seconds, so Carr, I think, is getting the gap up a little bit to Lopez. And speaking of Carr, he now pits this lap, so Lopez will be going for another lap or so. So Carr comes in for his first pit stop of the race, so we'll see if he still comes out ahead of Laura Chung, but I'm pretty sure that Laura Chung is doing a 3-stop strategy. Meanwhile, Tomaselli has passed Roke on track for 7th place. Carr comes in, and yep, I think that's definitely going to be a 2-stop. So, comes out. I think that's a pretty decent stop. Carr, and let's see where he comes out compared to his teammate. Of course, actually, if he comes up behind Willows, Willows could try and do his teammate a favour here. But of course, Willows is wanting to win this title, but I don't think he's really got much chance. So Willows just come across the line. So yep, Carr will come up behind Willows. So that could be interesting. But it looks like Chung is going to be behind. Although this could actually be pretty close. But Carr's definitely going to be quicker once he comes out of the pits. So this could be close. Will Carr still come ahead of Willows? Oh, we got you like and Gabriel Gomez is over. And wow, he has rolled over, and that looks to be coming out of the pit exit, and his car is on its side. And what on earth has happened there? And wow, that is it looks like a big crash for Gabriel Gomez. So we definitely need to see a replay of that ASAP, please. So it's with Lean Campana. Lean Campana is also out. Meanwhile, Carr did come out ahead of Chung, crucially, in the stop there. But we need to have a look and see this replay of Gomez and Campana with what looks to be a major accident. But yeah, so the marshal pushing the car away. So now we should see a replay, and here we go. So Gomez was in 17th position, and it looks like it may have been, was it Campana coming out of the pits? It must have been, because where's Campana? And there he is, and yep, there was the collision, and whoa, that is a huge crash, and Gomez sliding down the circuit there, on the AstroTurf there. Unfortunate collision there with Campana, and then just flips over. A huge accident there. I was looking from Campana's point of view, and there was the collision there, and Campana eliminates himself. Campana trying to move back on the track, and yeah, just because he turns where Gomez is, he should have waited, and then he would have come out maybe alongside Gomez, or at least waited, because he probably would have passed him as well. But a spectacular crash. We've seen pit incidents happen here before. I can't remember the last one that happened, but we have seen them happen here before. So we see once again the replay of Gomez flipping over, and then it was just rolling down on the AstroTurf, and the car then eventually getting tipped over. But a huge crash there, and a pretty scary one as well. And he spins around like a record, baby. Meanwhile, we're looking at Matteo Catalan, who is running in 60th position. He was ahead of this, and so I wonder if he made a mistake or something happened to him. And oh no, he didn't make a mistake. His car has broken down on him, and so the question is, can Campana get himself back to the pits? He's got the whole entire lap to do, so will he be able to do it? And nope, is the answer. He is not able to get back to the pits, so Matteo Catalan is out of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and the incident between Felix Sontag and Roberto Martinez has been concluded to be a racing incident, so not really much of a surprise there. Meanwhile, Franco Lopez has come out. I think he's come up behind Chung, actually, so yet back into what will be third position when everyone pits. Meanwhile, Joseph Willows is finally going to pit this lap, on this lap. Meanwhile, Roke is in the pits as well. He's 14 seconds off of Franco Gamba in front of him, so Gamba's had a clear road, really. But Willows just doesn't seemingly have the pace for this race, and of course, where he really needs it, unfortunately, he's not getting it. But he is set to come into the pits for his first, and it won't be his only stop. He'll be making one more. Roke will come out in, looks like 14th behind a big gaggle of cars. Meanwhile, Byrne, who's in 10th, who is not going to be pitting for a while yet. So Roke will, of course, come up crucially ahead of Sontag, but of course Sontag had that pit stop earlier on due to the wing damage. Chatfield will be coming into the pits very soon as well. I still don't know if Chatfield actually got damage from that incident or not with Martinez and Sontag. I'm not sure. I mean, he hit the debris, but I don't know if he actually got damage. I don't believe he did. But anyway, we're looking at Kupok, who's trying to go past Roland Moitian in towards the hairpin here. And he's on the inside, Kupok, and he's going to make the move, is he? Yes. And Moitian surely going to get the position up, and Kupok does make it through around the outside. Now Chatfield already on the back of Moitian. If he's close enough, he could make a move into the next corner. And will he make it? He's going to try and go around the outside here, but that's not going to work. Is he going to swap to the inside? No. Moitian holds his line, holds the position. Meanwhile, Joseph Willis now coming out of the pits after his stop. He'll be pitting once more before the end. And so he's going to come out, looks like probably between, I think, Tomaselli and Fosbury. If he comes ahead of Tomaselli, then I think that would be good news, actually, because I think Tomaselli, no, he's not coming ahead of Tomaselli, he's already through. See if he comes ahead of Mackenzie. Mackenzie's actually a big rival in this, so Willis going to come out of the pits. Where is Mackenzie's? Willis going to be ahead, and yes, so so crucially, Willis does come out ahead of Mackenzie, so he has gained a spot there. So that is important for him. Meanwhile, Laura Chung at the moment in third position, Carr in second, with Franco Gamba at the moment leading this race, but of course he's yet to make his first stop. So as we look now at Laura Chung in second position, no, sorry, why am I saying second position? Third position. It will be second position once Gamba goes in, but in the actual order, it will be second position once Gamba pits. So he'll come out in a comfortable fourth position. Will Franco Gamba. Meanwhile, we're looking at Fosbury at the moment, still doing a good job, running in P5 at this moment in time, and he's not pitting, still not pitted yet. His pace has been certainly very good this race. I mean, compare this to Evan Byrne, who's on the same strategy, and he's comfortably going to beat Byrne. Meanwhile, Franco Gamba now is finally in for his first pit stop of the race. So it's not going to be a one-stop, I don't think. I think it would be too much to pit now for a one-stop. Meanwhile, Moitian, a little bit of lock up there. I don't know if he made contact with the back of Chatfield there as he overtook him. But Moitian now down to 30th position, struggling in this race at the moment. Gamba obviously will be coming out in 4th position. Carr now retakes the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And so, of course, now Franco Lopez will be back up into 3rd, and Laura Chung will be 2nd. We're looking at Roke at the moment running in 14th, kind of on his own, really. For Dairy at the moment in the points in 9th, and here's Tomaselli who's on the back of Fosbury. This is the battle for P5, and Fosbury could be in with a legitimate shout actually of battling with Tomaselli towards the end if he's on the one stop. Meanwhile, Sontag getting lapped there by Franco Lopez, but we're looking at this battle for P5. Fosbury having good pace and actually probably having his best race of the season so far, yet to pit under pressure from the McLaren of Paolino Tomaselli. And so as they coming through the chicane, now through the hairpin, and Tomaselli will make a move at the end of the straight, well, it should be, as long as he keeps in the slipstream of the Haas. And so he's now in the slipstream, Tomaselli, so he should make this move unless Fosbury really defends hard, which we've seen drivers do. But Tomaselli doesn't really make the move yet. Or is he now going to do it now? Is he going to go for it? And is he going to go for a late dive? And actually, no, he doesn't. So Fosbury holds on to the position yet again. Meanwhile, Chris Chatfield running in 12th position, all over the back of Evan Byrne. This is for 11th, so Byrne again is also one of the drivers yet to pit, and he's doing the one-stop, but he is not having a fun race by any means. And now we're looking at Chatfield, who's going to absolutely steamroll past him for 11th place, coming down the back straight, heading towards the hairpin, and he's on the inside, and yep, he's through. Easy as that for Chris Chatfield. Meanwhile, Roland Moichin is in 13th position. He's going to try and get past Byrne. He's made an error there, I think, and Moichin might try and go around the outside here because Byrne's got a terrible exit. Meanwhile, we're looking at this battle for P5. Fosbury still holding up Tomasetti, and now Willows is there. He might be able to gain another position from this. Mackenzie is in the pits yet again. Chung at the moment in 2nd position, and Franco Lopez in 3rd. They're all sort of evenly spaced out, really. Not much is necessarily happening at the front. David Kupok is in, and actually so is Chris Chatfield. So a number of drivers coming into the pits for second stops, and on their heading for their 3 stop. So it's all starting to happen now at this stage of the race, as we're looking at Laura Chung, who at the moment is running in 2nd. And meanwhile, Thomas says, is he finally going to make the move on Fosbury? The answer is no. Fosbury defends hard, and I think there's a little lock up there from Thomas Eddy coming into the hairpin. So he's going to have to wait once again to try and make the move on Fosbury. Again, he's doing a fantastic job. I mean, if he gets a top 5 from this race, Fosbury, that would be amazing. It would be by far his best performance of the season. He's doing a very good job right now, but it could all change, and anything could still happen. As we're looking at Andrea Federi at the moment, running in 8th position, well ahead of Byrne. I think nearly a pit stop ahead of Byrne, actually, because Byrne is quite slow at this moment in time. Meanwhile, Federi said coming through at the end of the support pit straight. We're now at the halfway point of this race. Laura Chung actually is going to come into the pits for her 2nd stop of the race, and I believe this is going to be the 2nd of 3 stops, because I don't think she's going to go to the end from here. But as we look at Byrne at the moment, running in 9th, holding up Moichin in front. Lopez in 3rd, again not really gaining on Chung, but of course now he will get 2nd position. And if Chung is done on the 3 stop, that'd be good news for him, because he's going to be on the 2, is Lopez. Meanwhile, we're looking at this battle once again. Deja vu, we're looking at these guys all follow each other. Right behind Fosbury is Tomaselli, and also so is Willows. They're heading up towards the chicane. Tomaselli's got to watch his back because Willows is right behind him. You're not going to be able to make a move into the chicane. You don't see any moves into there, and we're still not going to see any more today. So we look at them coming onto the back straight. Oh, actually, Tomaselli forces Fosbury into a little error there, and Fosbury goes wide, and Willows is now going to try and go around the inside as well, try to take 2 places in one. It's 3 wide, just about down the back straight, although Fosbury's actually got his nose back in front. Willows now on the inside of Tomaselli into the hairpin, but Tomaselli's going to have a go at Fosbury. He's going to go on the inside, and Tomaselli's going to do it. Oh, no, not quite. Fosbury still holds on somehow. And how Fosbury's managed to get away with it, I have no idea. We got a terrible run after Tomaselli forced him into a mistake. And now Tomaselli's actually under pressure from Willows. He's going to try and make a move. He's going to try and go around the outside. It looks like Willows got a good slipstream off the corner, and he's going to go around the outside. It looks like into the corner. Will he hold it? Willows? No, I think Tomaselli's going to keep the position. Does he? Yep. And so, oh no, Willows going to go around the outside. He's got a good exit, Willows, and he finally might make it into 6th. And yes, he does. So out of all of that, Willows does take 6th position away, but that was some good battling there between Fosbury, Tomaselli, and Willows. 3 wide coming down the back straight there, and Fosbury still kept it, and then Tomaselli tried it on the inside into the hairpin, and I'm amazed. I don't know how they got away without contact, but they were very, very close. But then Tomaselli didn't get a good run off the corner, and that allowed Willows to have a go, and he went around the outside. I thought Tomaselli had held him off enough, but he kept it. He kept at it, Willows, and he managed to make the position, but unfortunately for Willows, that overtake, as good as it was, is essentially going to be all for nothing. Well, it's going to move him up a position, but in terms of the championship, it's not going to help him at all, really. But meanwhile, Franco Lopez in 2nd position now. It is a Mercedes 1-2, with Chung having gone in, and I would imagine Low was a Renault that's gone very wide there. That's Byrne, who's gone very wide off the corner there. That's going to allow, he's now got both racing points right behind him. And Moyes going to try and make a move around the outside of Byrne, and Roke's trying to get past them both here. Now as they come into the corner, Byrne holds them off. Byrne is obviously on the one side. He's going to be going for at least another 6 or 7 laps. And we'll see what his pace will be like on the one stop. Chung, as I said, is in the pits for her 2nd stop, and I would imagine that she is going to pit one more time. And yes, she is. So that is good news. That's even better news for Lopez. He's in the prime position now for the championship. But the fact that Laura Chung is on the 3 stop and Lopez is only going to be on the 2. So it looks like it's going to be a Mercedes 1-2 with Carr winning this race and Lopez second. But, as I said, anything can happen in the OC, and it usually does. So Tomaselli, meanwhile, of course, down behind Willows. Meanwhile, this is Mackenzie who's trying to pass his teammate here for ninth position, as Bernard's not making it easy for him. Coming into the first corner, and he holds him up there. Meanwhile, the 2 Racing Points both battling behind as well. So the two teams battling for positions here, and right behind Roland Moichin for 10th position. Byrne struggling for pace, and he needs to let Mackenzie go because he's clearly going to be the quicker car. And Moichin needs to do the same for Roke as well, as Federi is now down to 12th position. And Mackenzie's at 9th. Wait, has Federi made a mistake? Because I don't, unless he made a pit stop, I don't know. But anyway, Mackenzie coming on the inside of Byrne, and meanwhile Roke is doing the same behind to Moichin. Mackenzie on the inside of Byrne, does he do it? Yes. Roke on the inside of Moichin, does he do it? Yes. So now up into 10th position. So number overtakes 4 position there. Good job by these guys. It's been actually a pretty good race so far for the drivers. And so what's happening here? So Fosbury actually now going into the pits, and wait, has Thomas already got back past Willows? How's that happened? And I think it's actually I think I know. I think that's why, because Willows is right behind Fosbury. And of course, Fosbury was pitting. So Thomas took full advantage of that and went back past Willows. That was good job there by Thomas. Now Willows is going to have to do all that work, all that hard work he did trying to get past Thomas in the first place is going to be all for nothing. And now he's going to have to try and get back past Tomaselli. Willows is going to get frustrated at how this race has gone, being stuck behind the McLaren. And that slide there will do him no good, and that will allow Tomaselli to get a gap for another lap or so. But Willows, unfortunately, just trying. I think he's just trying a bit too hard with this. He's trying everything else, so you can get why, but it's not getting him anywhere. So he, as you can see, gets a slide on there, Tokyo Drift, and goes wide and loses a lot of time to Tomaselli in front of him. Meanwhile, this is George Rowe right behind Byrne for 9th place. Byrne, again, I think, pretty sure the only driver apart from actually Moichin, actually, still yet to pit. Roke trying to get on the inside here of the Irishman. In towards the hairpin, and is Roke going to make the move stick? And the answer is yes. Roke now up into 9th position. And I wonder if Moichin could actually go past Byrne as well. These two are in a battle for position, Byrne and Moichin, because they're both on the one-stop strategy, so that is a legitimate battle. Sontag has come in for a stop, and I couldn't quite see if he was going to the end or not, but he's obviously being lapped by a number of these guys. Carr at the moment had it very easy out front, and has generally maintained the gap ever since the start. Meanwhile, Andrea Federi is trying to go past Roland Moichin on the back straight. He's in the slipstream. He's going to have a go at the Hungarian into the hairpin. And so he's going to make a move on the inside. Moichin might be getting the slipstream from the car in front, actually. Federi on the inside. He's going to make it stick. And yes, he is. He makes it up into 11th position. So good move there by Federi. And now he's going to go after Evan Byrne. He's already in the slipstream, actually, coming off the hairpin there. And coming down the support straight. He might even try and make a move around the outside of him. Might try and do what Willows did and go around the outside. He's going to have a go, but I think Byrne is going to cover him off. He knows better. But Federi's going to swap to the inside, actually. Is he going to make the move stick here? The answer is yes. I think Federi might do it. No. Byrne goes a bit wide. Actually, now Federi does it. So he does it around the inside this time and not around the outside. So good move there by Andrea Federi to make the move past Byrne into 10th position. Meanwhile, Gamma again is just on his own. A very, very lonely race in 3rd, you have to say, for him. As we look now at Laura Chung. Oh, and there's contact, and Willows has just punted Tomaselli off, and it's not worked. Because Tomaselli still keeps the position, so Willows really is trying. You can see how far back he actually came down the straight. He was so far back, and he tried a late move. It was never going to work. Tomaselli kind of moved in front, and there was the contact, and Willows spinning there at the hairpin and losing a lot more time than he could have wanted, as Amakar comes out of the pits and actually loses, gets held up a little bit by Roland Moichin coming into the pits there. But that will do actually Lopez some favour. I mean, if Lopez wins here and wins the title, that would be even more satisfactory. But he's not pitting actually for a number of laps, Lopez, so I think Carr, even despite that hold-up, will have fresher tyres, so will gain enough on Lopez. But I suppose towards the end of the race, you never know how much pace Lopez might have. But Carr will come out, I think, in 3rd position, possibly 4th, if doesn't come out ahead of Chung, but Chung has to pit once more anyway. But meanwhile, Chatfield is right behind Byrne. This is for 11th position. Byrne, who I don't believe is still hasn't pitted yet. Chatfield on the inside. Is he going to make it stick? And oh, there's contact. And Chatfield has got wing damage. And somehow Byrne gets away without losing a wheel there. But Chatfield comes away with wing damage. And there goes Chatfield's chance of points from this race. And here is the replay of that incident. You can see that was going to happen. I mean, oh, and actually, look at that. It was because Chatfield actually clipped the curb. That's a great angle there. So he went right on the curb there to Chatfield. And that put him into the side of Byrne's car, and again I'm still amazed that Byrne managed to get away without losing a wheel there. That is very, very lucky indeed. But as the car comes out in 3rd position, ahead of Laura Chong, who is just coming around the final corner right now. Meanwhile for Dairy, I think he's trying to get past George Roke in the Racing Point, and he's on the inside, the Brits, and he passes him for 9th position, so good move there by the Italian. So Roke actually pitting this lap, as a matter of fact. So I wonder if Roke can try and keep the position after the stops. But Roke again hasn't really had a lot of pace this race. But it looks like he'll still be getting some points from this race. Lopez at the moment in the lead, Gamba in 2nd. He's pitting of course once more. So it looks like it's going to be pretty clear for Carr to take the lead back. And I'm not going to say he's going to win, because Lopez could still easily catch him, because he's pitting quite late. It's Franco Lopez, so he'll be very fast towards the end of the race. But it's looking pretty good for Franco Lopez at this moment in time, and if he finishes 2nd, and with the fact that Gallows out and Willis is going to be down in like 5th, that is going to be comfortably enough for Lopez to win the title here in Abu Dhabi. As we're looking at Lopez coming under the hotel, he's going to be pitting in probably about 4 or 5 laps time, I'd say. Meanwhile, Willows once again battling with Thomas. They're going to make a move, and I thought there was contact there. There nearly was. Fortunately, they keep, they don't make contact, which is a relief. Meanwhile, Roke is in for his final stop of the race this lap for Racing Point. And so we're looking at the Italian Franco Gamba, who of course will be very happy that he'll be keeping his seat at Red Bull for next season. There were doubts as to whether he would keep his seat or not. But he has kept it, and he'll be given another chance at Red Bull, because he started the season actually so well, of course. Led the championship after the first round in Australia after winning there, but it didn't really get much better than that. But at least he does have a win to his name at Red Bull, and he'll hope, of course, for next season it will be a lot better. Meanwhile, Paolino Tomaselli is coming into the pits for McLaren. This is his final stop of the race. He's had a solid race. Good battle with Joseph Willows he's had all race, and so far he's come out on top of it, really. He's outfoxed Willows. And so Tomaselli now comes out of the pits. We have Roland Moitian, who is, of course, running in 12th. He, of course, was on the 1 stop, but it doesn't look like he'll be getting any points today, because Roke is going to the end, so unless he has any bit of luck. Byrne, of course, is behind him at 13th. He's, again, had a torrid race. On that 1 stop, it's not worked out for him. I mean, for Fosbury, actually, he managed to pit. He managed to do the 1 stop well. His pace was actually really good, but it's just not worked out for everybody. Gamba is in for his final stop this lap, and Franco Lopez will be in as well on the next lap. So Gamba now in. He'll go to the end, and so it looks like he'll finish in. Well, I'd say he'll finish in P4. I think he'll finish P3 actually, because Chung has to pit once more. Before the end, so I think actually Gamba could actually have P3 here, which I think would be a nice way to, I suppose, celebrate his announcement at staying at Red Bull for next season. I think there was an Alfa Romeo, and that was a Federi. I think he was in this lap as well. As we're looking at cars coming up to the back of the Toro Rosso in front of him here, Lopez, as I said, is going to be pitting this lap, so we'll see if he can catch up. The gap to car was about 20 seconds, so will probably be a bit less than that now. Oh no, it's actually up to 21, but he'll come out obviously in 2nd. But I wonder if Lopez could possibly maybe catch up to Carr and maybe overtake him for the win, or if Carr will let him go through for the win. But I suppose, well, I don't know what Mercedes will do really, because Lopez is going to win this title as things stand anyway. But he's set to come into the pits, Lopez, for his final stop of the race. and possibly his final stop before he becomes a champion. So as Lopez is now coming through the hotel, under the hotel for the final, well, I'll say for the final time, before he makes his stop. And so he'll now come in the pit stop for his last one. And so here we go. So the gap to car about just under 21 seconds. So Lopez now comes in and he'll come out in second position. So here we go. So he comes in. He'll see his crew on the right there, go in towards him, and we'll change all 4 tyres, we'll add enough fuel to go to the end. Tomaselli actually now up into 5th. So Lopez will be going to the end, and of course Carl will be taking the lead of this race. Lopez comes out of the pits, and so he is heading towards the pit exit. Of course, a very unique pit exit here in Abu Dhabi, the only one that goes under the circuit. Something a bit different really, as we're looking at Tomaselli in 5th as well as in 6th, and I think actually I don't know if Chung, well, even if Chung comes ahead actually of Lopez, it won't matter because Chung is pitting soon anyway, so Lopez can afford to let Chung be ahead, and I think she was briefly, and yep, there you go, there's Chung that's coming to the pits now this lap, so now allows Lopez to take second position. And yeah, so that is how it's going to finish. It's looking like it's going to finish a 1-2 at the moment for Mercedes, but Chung on the 3, it's not really, I would say it's not worked out for her, but well, it hasn't really. I mean, it doesn't look like she'll actually get the podium, so it looks like Franca Gamba is going to get P3, so unless Chung can close up rapidly towards the end of the race. But at this moment in time, Lopez is second. Car at the moment is comfortably out front. In first, has kept the lead for, well, pretty well has kept the lead for the entire race, really. Never really looked back, kept it to Chung, kept the distance, and it's all worked out very well for him. So we're looking now at Car coming on towards the support straight. Meanwhile, Felix Sontag is in the pits for his final stop of the race as well. But Tomaselli again right now running in 5th position, having a good race. Kupok as well in the points as well in 9th. Kept out of trouble and done a pretty good job. And Chung is quite a distance actually from Gamba, so it might be a bit of a stretch actually if Chung, well, she'll certainly close up to Gamba. But overtaking, of course, will be a different story. But Franca Gamba, who has again had a lonely race, but not done anything wrong, kept himself to himself, so I think he'll be pretty happy to get a podium, and this is again to celebrate the announcement that he'll be staying at Red Bull for next season. Meanwhile, we're looking at Evan Byrne, and Jay McKenzie, meanwhile, is in for a final stop of the race for Renault. Unfortunately, he was again in the top 5, but pace-wise just not worked for him, really. He's now going to drop down. I don't know how he'll drop out of the points or not. He might do, but we're looking at Car at the moment, who is in the lead, and Lopez will be trying to hunt him down, but doesn't really need to again do anything rash. And actually, he says the fastest lap does Franco Lopez, so he'll get at this moment in time the fastest lap point from the Grand Prix. But of course, he'll be getting something more important than that if he can keep the second position. So Sontag now down in 15th position. And so we're looking now at the leader of this race, Amar Kar, who is leading. And of course, Lopez is closing the gap. It's now down to 10.7 seconds, but I'm still not quite sure Lopez is going to close him down enough before the end of the race. Meanwhile, Roke is actually up to 10th, and David Kupok is in for his final stop of the race. So I thought he was going to go to the end, Kupok, but it doesn't. But it seems not. So he pits one more time, and we look at Sontag at the moment down the order in 15th place, but Kupok dropping out of the points with that last stop, and I don't think he's going to have time to be able to get the points back. But Lopez now going past the Alfa Romeo there of Andrea Federi. Tomaselli again still doing a great job holding up Willers. Had a good battle in the second half of the race, and he's managed to keep 5th position, as Willers just not been able to do it today. But we're looking at your race leader, Amar Kar, who has led this race from the start. He's I'm not going to say he's dominated, but he's done a good job. Kept the lead the entire race and not put a foot wrong, really. I'm not going to say he's dominated. I think that's a bit of a stretch. But he's not put a foot wrong this race, and it looks like he is going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But of course, more importantly, Franca Lopez in second position, who has gained obviously a bit on Car, but not enough, is set to take the 2019 OC Championship. It will be his first OC title as well, and he'll be very, very delighted about that. And so as we look at Amakar heading towards the end of the support straight for the 55th and of course the final time, and as he comes through, we'll see the gap between him and Lopez, which will, I imagine, probably come down a bit more. And it's now, yeah, look at that, second, no, not quite a second actually, I thought it said 5 then. Not quite a second, but still gained on Carr, but it won't matter as Carr's coming under the hotel, and the fireworks will of course start in the background once Amakar comes across the line. And so Amakar has had a great race today and not put a foot wrong. He has deserved the victory today, and he's going to come around the final corner, and Amakar is going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He comes across the line and he wins this race. But more importantly, Franco Lopez comes around the final corner. He comes across the line and finishes second. And Franco Lopez is your 2019 GP4 OC champion. It never looked like it was going to anyone else. He is the man. And I mean, again, just totally dominated this championship. It never looked like it was going anywhere else but him. He is the winner of the championship. He will be absolutely delighted with that. He'll be very, very happy indeed. Franco Lopez, the champion. He will be thrilled with that. He will be drinking a lot tonight. He finishes second, and he is the champion. Well done to him. Franco Gamba will be third across the line, and Laura Chung will be fourth. But there's only one man you've got to focus on, Franco Lopez, as we're looking through the rest of the order. So Chung's across the line in fourth, Roke 10th. Moichin misses out in 11th, but the title will not, of course, be going to Brazil, which, again, for some people, it will probably be quite disappointing. But I actually can't remember the last time the title was won in Abu Dhabi. It's definitely been quite a few seasons, that's for sure. It's always generally gone down to the last race in Brazil. Meanwhile, Tomaselli holds off Willows for P5. Great performance by Tomaselli, and for Willows, a very kind of sluggish way to try and stop Franco Lopez from winning the title. And of course, Willows, that is it. His last chance of winning the title with Ferrari, and it's not happened. So, again, Willows will probably come away from his time with Ferrari disappointed. As we all know, he's going to be moving to McLaren next season, and we'll see what he can do there. But there, again, once again, Franco Lopez, your 2019 GP4 OC champion, well deserved. So we'll take a look at the full race results. Amakar winning ahead of Franco Lopez in second, Franco Gamba third, Laura Chung in fourth, Tomaselli in fifth, and Joseph Willis in sixth. The last car on the lead lap. Jared Fosbury, great performance by him in seventh, but I think it may be a little bit too late for him to try and keep his seat. Andrea Federi in eighth, Jay McKenzie ninth, and George Rowe completing the points in 10th. Roland Moichin just behind him in 11th. With Evan Byrne, Chris Chatfield, David Kupok, and Felix Sontag completing the rest of the finishing order. Pateo Catalan, Lin Campana, Gabriel Gomez, Rosetta Martinez, Maxine Titkoff, Kirozova de Rosa, and Nicolas Gal, the drivers who did not finish this race. And of course, Franco Lopez gets that extra bonus point for setting the fastest lap. So now we'll take a look at the driver standings and constructors. Of course, Franco Lopez there in gold, winning the title ahead of Joseph Willis in second position. Nicolas Gal in third. There still could be a battle on for second at the end of the season between Willis and Gal. Chung in fourth, Carr in fifth, closing on Chung in fourth, so could still get fourth away from Chung. Gamba in sixth, Tomaselli seventh, Catalan eighth, Byrne in ninth. And looking at the rest of the order, Gomez in 12th, George Rowe moving ahead of his teammate Roland Moichin, actually now into 13th. Chatfield in 15th, Mackenzie, Fosbury with that points finish, moving up 3 positions all the way up from 20th to 17th, so that's a good way to end the season for Fosbury, but it still might be bittersweet if he can't get a seat for next season. Meanwhile, in the constructors, it is going to go down to the final race, but I think Mercedes have got one hand on the title, you have to say. Red Bull are not going to win the title in Brazil. McLaren Cup will finish in 4th. Alfa Romeo, Renault and Racing Point and Toro Rosso all going to have a battle, looks like, for 5th in the constructor standings. Haas in 9th, Williams 10th, and Manor in 11th. Jared Fosbury was given driver of the day for his performance in Abu Dhabi, which is not really a surprise. So there we go, the title fight is over. But of course we still have the Brazilian Grand Prix to attend to next week. So thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to, as usual, give the video a like. Check out all links in the description. Check out Twitter, Discord, join our Discord, check out Wiki. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you for the final race of the 2019 OC season, the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you there.